From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight,
Ijoma Oyato.
Hello and welcome tonight. Confusion as military defers to the school authorities over controversial rescue of 121 schoolgirls in Borno. Presidents, service chiefs and PDP governors meet in Abuja over insecurity in the country. Another meeting with all governors also scheduled for next Wednesday. Another violent attack in Wukari throws village into panic. Gunmen kill some residents. And Ukraine Interior Minister says 3 pro-Russian separatists have been killed, just as parties to the dispute reach agreement in Geneva.
And on Business News tonight, the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry urges the federal government to speed up power sector reforms.
And on Sports News tonight, Golden Eaglets depart for Lome, Togo ahead of this weekend's WAFU Under-17 tournament.
I'm Linda Akibe, and from Abuja, former head of state General Muhammad Buhari demands public apology from the PDP for labeling him a supporter of Boko Haram.
There seems to be something strange about the manner in which information surrounding the release of girls kidnapped in a school in Chibok, Borno State, is being handled. Reports this evening seem like the Nigerian Defense Ministry has retracted its statement that 121 of the girls have been released and reunited with their families, and only 8 still missing. The military had made a categorical statement last night that the army had rescued the girls and were hot on the track of the abductors. But the Director, Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, told Channels Television some moments ago that the military is not prepared to engage anyone or any group in the figure debate, and that since the principal and the state government are aware of the figure missing, the military would rather defer to them on the matter. More worrying also is the claim that one of the terrorists involved in the operation had been captured alive. And as that controversy rages, most of the parents say many of the girls are still missing, as the school's principal and the state government confirm that only 14 of the girls have been found. This number has also been backed up by the leadership of an organization made up of indigenes of the Chibok in Borno. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the chairman, Kibaku Area Development Association, Mr. Hosea Sambido, said the abducted girls who escaped by their personal efforts have been reunited with their parents.
The girls were made to count themselves, giving a figure of 247. They were taken away, after which the school was razed down completely. The terrorists left with the girls and their loot at about 3 a.m. on Tuesday, the 15th April, to an unknown destination. Since then, a lot of information in both print and electronic media have reached Nigerian public and the world at large that the girls have been rescued and that only 8 are still missing. Different sources are giving different figures of the number of girls rescued, which are not true. The most disturbing, however, is the statement credited to the Defense Headquarters as carried by most print media of 16th and 17th April 2014 that 121 of the girls have been rescued and that only 8 are still missing. This information is misleading, as neither the parents nor the school authority have seen their girls as at this press time. The anxiety generated by this misleading information have forced the local communities to mobilize themselves and move to Sambisa Forest searching for the girls to complement the efforts of the military. Out of the 247 girls known to have been abducted, only 14 girls who escaped through their personal efforts have returned to their parents. This is the true picture, and we are appealing to government to intensify the search and rescue efforts so that the girls can be reunited with their parents.
Now, staying with security issues, the federal government has described insecurity in Nigeria as a national issue that involves all states of the federation. This is part of the fallout of the meeting between PDP state governors and members of the National Security Council, presided over by President Goodluck Jonathan. Briefing State House correspondents after the meeting, the Akwa Ibom State Governor Godswill Akpabio said that the PDP governors had taken a decision in Jigawa to meet with security chiefs in the wake of attacks in some parts of the country. Our State House correspondent Chukuma Onekwuse reports.
The security situation in the country calls for desperate action. The president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, had to summon national security members for this meeting to x-ray recent events and developments in the country. All of them heeded to the clarion call. Present included the Vice President, Namadi Sambo, the Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Ali Guzo, the National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired, the Chief of Defense Staff, Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade, the Service Chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, the Director General State Security Services, and Director General of National Intelligence Agency. Also present included the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Minister of Police Affairs, and the Minister of the Interior. President Goodluck Jonathan's meeting with the National Security Council usually holds behind closed doors, and this one, which lasted for about 2 hours, was not an exception. The president relocated to another venue where the governors, mainly PDP governors, converged for the expanded meeting. At the last count, 20 governors answered to this call. Those who were not here sent their deputies. Now, members of the National Security Council also joined for the expanded meeting, which also held behind closed doors. It is noteworthy here that no governor from the opposition parties came at the expanded meeting on security developments in the country.
No, they were not invited. You know, there was an initial requisition for this meeting by the PDP governors. This was as a fallout of our own meeting. And so it wasn't something that was extended to all. And of course, that is why I said this one now, when they are invited on Wednesday, they'll be here. We just wanted to meet with our president and some service chiefs to hear our views and also make suggestions. But now, he's insisting, which is right too, that it's a national issue, and therefore it must be handled nationally, and all governors will be here. I don't think there's any governor that would not love to be here to also add his voice and his own suggestions on how we can tackle the current situation.
Now, the expanded meeting that will incorporate all the 36 states governors will be held Wednesday at 4 p.m. here in the presidential villa. Chukuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives leader Mulika Takonde has asked that school children in the northeastern part of the country be kept away from schools until the insurgency is brought under control. Mrs. Akonde made this call after paying a visit to the National Hospital, where some of the victims of the recent bomb blast at the bus park in Nyanya are receiving treatment. She also insisted that there was no need to continue to put innocent lives at risk.
I'm sure you heard also that over 80 have been found. So we're just praying that the remaining 8, will be, found wherever they are. And I'm sure after this incident, no girl or no child will be left in school until the insurgence is over. I don't think they should be in school by now. All hands must be on deck. As Nigerians, we must all work hard. Some of us, know who these people are. They live with us. We know how they come into the country. We need to inform the police. We need to work together. We need to share information so that we can at least put a stop to all what is happening.
Now, to discuss today's extended Security Council meeting and the controversy over the release of the schoolgirls in Borno, I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by a security consultant, Mr. Jolayemi Olaofe. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10 tonight.
Much obliged.
Well, then there are a number of issues. Let's begin with the controversial release of 121 girls. Those who should know, talking about the principal now, the state government have said they haven't seen them, even though the military had made such a categorical statement yesterday. And now, well, we don't really know. So what do you make of all this?
I suspect very, very clearly that figures are being taunted just to make some, make the whole issue look trivial. National security is at risk here. The figures, whether it is one, that one will be too many. I beg to differ on authorities, agencies trying to muscle powers and say, we are right, or the parents or the principal of the school is wrong. My position is, you and I know too well that lives have been involved now. Where do we go from here?
Before you say, is it all about figures really? If the parents have said they've seen only 14 and total we're looking at 129, we couldn't just say, oh, it's just a figure. It's not a statistic, it's a human being. So what would you say is going wrong in terms of how this information is being handled? We're talking about parents looking for their children.
You and I know, without making little of this matter, if you went into a bank and you requested on your demand checkbook or whatever, you need 1 million naira. Anything short of 1 million naira is an abnormality. The disparity is alarming. The only way we can know the truth is if the parents can be reunited with the presumed disappeared children. So until then, whatever agency is coming up with whatever figure, whatever organization is coming up with whatever figure, we're still guessworking.
You've done a lot of work in the UK in terms of security and in crimes like that. How are these things handled over there? What should they really be doing at a time like this?
At a time like this, in the UK, there is a dedicated department for national emergencies. This, to me, is like a national emergency. I was telling us off camera earlier, I said, terrorism and national emergencies, there is a template for handling this, which we call best practice. A consortium of different agencies related to issues at stake will be brought together even before the whole thing comes on air. Therefore, there's what we call the terrorists' threat levels. After the threat levels, you have the counter-terrorism strategies. That is, what will we do and how do we carry it out? It's only a fool that asks, why? Oh, why me? Throwing a pity party. You must work proactively ahead of time, put the strategies in place. All the service chiefs for security come together, meet up with smaller bodies of local government authorities, and then move on together as a team.
But don't you think that's what they're trying to do today? We saw the Security Council meeting, though we don't really know what came out of that. They said they're going to meet again next Wednesday. Isn't that what you're talking about?
So you go to the morgue and give a dead body medicine after death? No. I say no. Templates should have been in place well ahead of time. We have various organizations, including the information gathering organization. Security is not one person's job. It's not two, it's not three. Security is you and I. We live among those people. They know us, we know them. It's only a thief that doesn't tell his child what he does for a living.
All right.
And says, tomorrow we're going to break into that house. Next tomorrow we're going. No. The children, right from the school age, should be taught how to pass on information, especially security-sensitive information.
Yes, at that point, we're going to have to leave it. I'm going to thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10. Security consultant, Mr. Jolayemi Olaofe. Thank you very much.